Hey guys, Ricky here with DoD Contract Academy. Thanks for watching this week or listening if you're on the podcast. And just so you know, there are going to be some swear words in this episode, as you could probably tell from the title. So I titled this A Shitload of Money because I really don't know how to get the message across to small businesses that aren't looking at government contracting yet, because there is so much money being spent by the government on small businesses and small business contracts. So I wanted to take just a few minutes to go over some of the spending from 2022, just to give you an idea of what's out there. And today we are going to look at IT, kind of information technology businesses, and we'll also look at R&D, research and development, which I really like because with R&D, you can take advantage of SBIR, and you've heard a lot of our guests who have been on have taken advantage of that program to help develop new technologies in a lot of different areas. And you can also modify existing technology in that area. So again, this is not all encompassing. This is just two categories of spending, right? So taking a look at IT over the past 2 years, so actually 2022 and 21, $111 billion spent on across large and small businesses for information technology related services and products, solutions. That includes software. That includes a lot of different things. But when we break that down, and that was over 75,000 contracts, so 75,376 contracts at the time of me doing the research. Now, and this is what we do with our clients, is we break it down. We're like, okay, how much of that was spent on small businesses? Well, on small businesses, 37 billion spent over the past 2 years, right? There was 45,207 contracts that we found. The average contract value for a small business in information technology was $818,457.31. So that's not the total they made that year. That's just the average contract value, right? So, on average, if we look across not just IT, but if we look across all small business, and these are 2021 numbers, but across all small business spending in 2021, the average small business made $2.35 million. And that's an average, right? In 2022, when we get the numbers on that, I'm expecting it to be higher. That's just the average. In anything like IT, information related software development, anything like that, cybersecurity, I expect it to be much higher for an average. And the reason is there's so much more money spent in those areas, these technological areas, than say, on office supplies, right? Or, if you name it, there's a lot of, maybe bookkeeping services, which there's a ton of money being spent there, but it's not $37 billion over 2 years, that's for sure. Now let's take a look at R&D, research and development, right? Research and development total for 21 and 2022, we saw $66 billion spent, and that's for large and small businesses. But, we break that down, and across small businesses, we see $11 billion. That's $11 billion just on research and development, right? So, if you're in technology and you're developing anything, you want to modify anything, there are a lot of different ways to go after that type of funding. And look, R&D covers a lot of different things. So I don't want to sugarcoat this and say it's, it applies to your thing. There's a lot of different subcategories to both R&D and information technology related spending for the government. But there were 13,310 contracts across that $11 billion spend just on small businesses, where small businesses are the prime. The average contract for R&D was $826,446. So when I think about that, I think about, whatever you're doing commercially, which could be significant, right? How much better could your total revenue be year over year if you start adding government contracting to that? All right. So, and that's what you really need to think about. Or if you're just getting started, especially if you're in the R&D space, looking at government funding instead of venture capital, as a lot of our guests have indicated, can be a lot better for your business because the government doesn't own part of your business. A lot of times the government's just seeing, hey, is there a need? Does it resonate with the warfighter? Does it resonate with the decision makers in the military and other federal agencies? Is it something that they'd want to fund even further? And so you can use that funding to help develop the product or solution that you have. And in conjunction with your commercial sales, and then once the government funding comes in, so if it's something that's really, truly revolutionary, or innovative, where the government's just not spending any money, we don't have any buckets of money that we spend year over year on, then the government does have to catch up with your solution, right? So if you develop just, device X, it doesn't exist, it's this brand new capability. Well, and the government loves it, they helped you develop it. It might take them a year or two or three to catch up and like really put, those $50 million, $100 million contracts out there, those pots of money that would be buying it in mass and maybe putting it across a service, something like that. But in the meantime, you can sell commercially, and in most cases, whatever you have, whatever you're using R&D dollars for, typically there's going to be something already spent there, right? So if you have a communications device, well, the government spends a lot of money on communications in different areas and different PEOs and different PEs. So there's going to be funding there, programmed funding, that is probably going to be available for what you have if it's just a innovation on a current capability. So there's lots of ways you can go after that. Again, this was a quick episode on just the massive amount of money that's actually out there. And I just wanted to hit you with some real numbers in this episode, so you could take those and think about that. And, whatever industry that you're in, these are going to apply, same things are going to apply to you. The funding might not be as high, but the competition probably isn't as high either if it's less on the spending. So you can hit me up, let me know. You can go to our website, dodcontract.com, if there's a category of spending that you want to hear more about how we go in and we can win those contracts. Hey, remember, winning contracts, this is a relationship game, and you win the contract before the solicitation comes out. So if you're, a sam.gov person and you're looking at solicitations coming out, just remember, if you're writing a proposal on a solicitation and you haven't engaged with the program office before that, your odds of winning, very unlikely. So you want to find opportunities ahead of time, and you win the opportunity ahead of time. It's all about doing that work before the solicitation comes out. Hopefully this was a great episode for you guys. Head on over to dodcontract.com and we will see you next week. Thanks again for listening. Subscribe. Please leave a review. I'm out.